Looking around the showrooms here, the one thing that's dead obvious is the sheer variety of shiny classics on offer. The phrase "Vive la différence" comes to mind.
60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you know, we've got different lamps, different bumpers, different shapes, different styles, different interiors. Everyone is different.
It's an opportunity to celebrate cultural diversity.
The Italian cars, well, you can tell them a mile off because they're the ones that are broken down. And the German ones, they're the ones that are overtaking the ones that are broken down.
French cars were notoriously curvy, so-called sexy, maybe, some might say.
And the British, they were quite, you know, like a straight line, straight line, straight line.
Derek's never been that keen on French cars, but he's just come back from 2 weeks in Normandy.
Does that change your opinion?
No. In my day, they were regarded as weird, not fit for purpose. I mean, who would have made a van out of corrugated iron? We use it on roofs, don't we?
But we adore the quirky chic of a French motor, and there's one in here that's an absolute tour de force. A Citroen DS. Designed by ex-sculptor Flaminio Bertoni alongside aeronautical engineer André Lefebvre, the DS19 was launched at the 1955 Paris Motor Show. 12,000 deposits were made on the first day. It was definitely strange, but also groundbreaking. Not only was it extremely aerodynamic, it was also the first car to have hydro-pneumatic suspension and disc brakes. It had front-wheel drive, power steering, a space-age nylon dashboard, and the option of a semi-automatic gearbox, so no clutch pedal. Our find is a DS21 Palace from 1971.
I remember being a little kid and one came in the workshop. I was mesmerised. Swivelly headlights, front wheels point, the headlights point. And then it went up and down and stuff, and like, as a kid, you're like, oh, it's a spaceship. Futuristic, weren't they? Left hook up, it's a bit of a shame, but got to sit somewhere, haven't you? Super comfy. The funny thing, you've got 3 pedals and a great big button. The great big button being the brake. The left-hand pedal there is your handbrake. So lots of people get in and they, what's all this? You know, they can't work out how to drive them, never mind anything else. Look at that. it's bizarre, that's what that is. Engine's right back up there, look. Spare wheel there, in front of the radiator, which doesn't make any sense, does it? But it worked, didn't it?
71 Citroen DS21, bit special, little bit special. Absolutely amazing amount of paperwork going with it. Very exceptional. £12,000. 12 I've got, 12,500. Going then 12,500, 13. 5, 13, 5, Buckinghamshire, 13, 5, 14. 14 and a half, Buckinghamshire, yeah. 14, 5, 15. 15, I'm selling it. On its way and going 15,005. What a little minx, isn't he, in Buckinghamshire, horseshoe?
Yes.
16. On the floor here, bidding £16,000 for the first, second, third and last time. 16,000.
Oh my goodness. We got it. We got a Citroen DS.
Given its unique setup, we needed the right specialist. So we shipped it to Kent and into the careful hands of restorers Rad Wojcik and Paul Harris. In Kent, work is due to start on our beautiful Citroen DS. But mechanic Rad has now found another problem with it.
We just had a test drive and the car wasn't pulling at all. We've got no fuel pressure, incredibly low. It was amazing, it was still running.
A clue to the issue might be this gift-wrapped present that came with the car. A spare fuel tank.
Somebody was making preparation to replace this tank. Let's have a quick look inside. That is perfectly fine tank. This is very common. The fuel tanks are so rusty that the fuel filter is blocked. The pump is also contaminated by rust being dragged through the fueling system. Da, da, da. So this is the fuel tank. This is none of it is original. So this tank was definitely out.
first bit to detach, the sender unit, which tells you how much fuel you've got left.
I'm looking inside the tank. This is not dramatic at all, actually.
It'll be swapped out later, only if the car's not running tip-top.
We're gonna get access to fuel pump, fuel filter, and see what the situation is there.
This is definitely a priority problem. We can't move on until it's solved.
If this car is not running, you have no suspension, you have no brakes, you have no steering. It's an absolute nightmare to have it in the workshop when it's not in running order. So this is the pump, and we're gonna just power it and have a better look at it. It's incredibly loud. Even if you touch it, it feels really rough the way it runs. Clearly this pump is not right. It shouldn't make that noise. So the pump we're changing, let's crack on.
As a diversion from the mechanicals, a visitor has tipped up.
Morning, John.
Morning. How you diddling?
John Dawes has been a coach trimmer for 60 years, and he's here to sort something that's irritating garage owner Paul.
It looks like a toy car. What detracts from it is having a gold roof, brown interior and blue panels. I would put a vinyl roof on, black vinyl. It would be age appropriate.
John is more than qualified for this job.
How many roofs have you taken off before on DS?
Well, thousands, I would have thought. I was doing them in the 60s.
The roof, including the Webasto soft top, will be covered in a PVC vinyl called Everflex, the same material used by Rolls-Royce.
When I started, I wanted to be a panel beater. The firm down the end of my road, and my friends worked there as well, started doing the Webasto roofs. So we need someone small to do the E-type. Not a lot of room to work, you know. So that's how it started off. And I landed up becoming a car trimmer.
This job will take John about a week.
I'll prepare all the metal work if there's bits of rust, locate the materials, make sure we don't fall over or anything behind it. I've got all the measurements already. I've actually got all the drawings for these roofs at home. I'll put that back in the car. I'll just make a new one up, make the vinyl roof, glue it up, ready, give me the shout to come and fit it all back in.
The new fuel pump has been fitted, which has brought the pressure up to what it should be. Rad now fancies a bit of multitasking.
We already know that the wheel bearing is not very clever. There's a little humming noise and a click.
For now, he's just going to remove the rear wing.
It's probably one of the easiest things to do on DS. You just open the door, pull the wing backward, and off it goes. Remove the hubcap.
Today's priority is stopping the LHM fluid leaking out.
One of the gaiters fitted to the rear suspension cylinder is burst. This is just as well because the same wheel will have to come off for this job. This is the part we're going to replace. It's a suspension rod, goes into suspension cylinder. It's the rubber boot that holds the hydraulic fluid. Take this off. So that's one thing. That goes on the bench for now. And because the car is on the ramp, we do a few things at the same time. So we're going to drain the oil. We're getting access to the oil filter. Just a cartridge paper element goes inside it. So we leave it to drain, and in the meantime, we're going to change that boot we have removed earlier. Away with this. So we're going to put the gaiter like that. I mean, you can see how very pliable and soft this thing is. So this will wait now to be refitted. It's just, you know, economical use of time.
Rad is on a roll. Next stop, the engine.
Take the rocker cover off, do the valve clearances.
Just the right amount of gap between the top of the valve and the rocker arm.
So that's a bit loose.
Ensures the correct compression and the engine runs smoothly and quietly.
Lovely.
Back with our Citroen DS. The roof has been cleaned and is now ready for its vinyl makeover. Rad has also been investigating the wonky wiring.
There appears to be two electric looms running on top of one of another. Whatever the problem people were having, they decide to run their own wiring. It's a mess.
And it's resulted in a strange phenomenon.
When we turn the lights on the rear, we can't turn them off now. They stay on permanently. So we're going to replace the front loom behind the dashboard, and we're going to replace the loom that supplies the electrics to the rear and the interior. The entire dashboard, everything will come out. I thought, since it's not very good condition, we may as well paint it and restore it to its original look. It will be a bit of a bonus on top of the job.
Rad must be in a generous mood, because he's also offered to repair the distinctive steering wheel for us.
This is the damage, so we're going to unbound this and start over. It's a bit tedious job, but I like them to look nice.
As for the roof, it's about to have a big image change. John's returned with his made-to-measure vinyl.
Hello, Red.
Morning, John. Had a good weekend?
Yes, too good. All right. I'm going to throw it over. That's the trouble, you got a hole in the roof.
Is the stitching or is the fold that lines up with this?
It's the fold.
Okay. So that's
got to come over to me.
A few days later, Rad and Paul completed the finishing touches. Our Citroen DS doesn't look massively different from when it arrived, but it definitely is.
We can say the dashboard is improved, we've uncovered the steering wheel, we put the vinyl roof on and the bumper. But the biggest improvements you can't see. It came here, it barely drove.
And then we discovered it's a fire hazard.
Yeah, so all we've done is sort out the things that you would expect or would hope the car would be able to do.
We think we've handled the restoration sensibly, and thanks to our experts, this car should be good for another 50 years if it's looked after.
I think whoever gets it is going to like it. He's going to enjoy driving it. It's a nice car to have.
But how much did it all cost? Including tax and commission, our DS was £17,440 to buy. Labour was £8,112. Parts were £2,595. And the vinyl roof was £1,140. Bringing la grand totale to £29,287. Zut alors!
Oh, what a lovely colour. Yeah. Yeah, like sitting on an old sofa in there, I would think, and it just glides itself along. It's beautiful. I'm pleased you haven't spent a load of money on the inside. Leave that for the next man, eh? You know, because, I mean, that's going to want some serious expenditure, isn't it, in that, really? Nice sunroof, lovely, love that. That'll come right back to here, that'll be beautiful. Better than a convertible, isn't it? They call them decapitable, the convertibles, which is fairly obvious, I suppose, French thing. And they're making a fortune. But I think these old saloons will do OK, you know. I think they're doing pretty well. And it's a nice, straight old car, isn't it? I think it's fantastic. I like that ever so much. Bar steering and half light. Oh, that is what you call power steering. I mean, look at it, look. Really odd, isn't it? Lovely gearbox. Talk about smooth. Beautiful synchros. Really, really good. What a car. A bit like driving in a bath of custard, you know? Feels right, smells right, drives right, looks right. I'm sold on French cars now.
Par excellence. We've got high hopes for this one as it goes to auction.
1971 Citroen DS 21 Palace. Beautiful car, absolutely. The colour to die for. They spent a nice bit of money on it, consequently driving beautiful, and I would have loved to have just kept driving it down to France.
There are no pre-auction bids, but Derek's drumming up interest in a car that owes us nearly 30k.
Anyway, here we are, your chance to buy it. Start me on it. 10, 11, 12, 13, 13, 14. £14,000, 14. 14, £14,000, who's got 15? £14,000, absolutely gorgeous. 14,000. 14,000, are you all done? 14.
It's not going to go.
Is the 15 anywhere? 14. 15 I've got. 15.
It's not going to sell for that.
15,000. 15,000 pound. James, I appreciate your bidding. Top man. As we say, one bidder's better than 10 lookers, but it's not going to buy it. Very provisional. 15. 15. I think that's probably the first car we've actually missed on, isn't it?
Correct.
But we're pleased to say things did improve.
Metallic Mediterranean blue with tan upholstery.
We sat on the car for a month and put it in the next auction.
At £19,500. Are we going to drop the hammer?
Yes.
It's sold at 19,500.
For an additional £4.5 grand, it was worth the wait.